Colorado High School Activities Association baseball is on B106 and B106.com. Today from Legion Field in Fort Morgan is a Colorado 7 doubleheader with the Fort Lupton Blue Devils and the Fort Morgan Mustangs. First pitch delivered in there, and that is a strike from Kyle Daniels. Playing two today. Fort Lupton will be the visiting team here in the top in this first game, and then they will be the home team in the second game. Second pitch is a ball, swing and a miss by Andres Escuela. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on the leadoff hitter for Fort Lupton. The wind and the pitch is way outside for ball 2. Kyle Daniels pitching today. Trey McBride behind the plate. Adrian Marquez at first. Grayson Garver at second. Trevor Sheriff at short. Nate Cage plays at third. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Must have missed one there someplace. Swing and a miss. So first out for Kyle Daniels. That will bring up John Cook, playing in left field today. So 1 up, 1 down on 7 pitches. Kyle Daniels with the delivery, and that is a bender, but misses. It is a strike. I'm sorry, he's a little slow on the call there. So 1 strike. Second ball swung at and missed. So strike 2 on John Cook. Next pitch is hit foul down the right field line and out of play. 9 pitches so far for Daniels. Daniels had the win on Wednesday against Englewood. 59 pitches, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. The wind and the pitch, another bender. But that one is up high, so that will be ball 1, strike 2 on John Cook. Next pitch is fouled back to the fence. Five pitches so far here in this at bat for Cook. The delivery, and that is a swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts for Daniels. That brings up Dante Vasquez. Vasquez playing short today, and that is a strike for Daniels. Another swing and a miss, strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the first. Cal Daniels once again looks to be on his game. Another bender, and that is in there for strike 3. So 3 up and 3 down for Kyle Daniels. Mustangs coming up to bat here on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickel back here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan, where the Mustangs and Kyle Daniels went 3 up and 3 down in the top of the first. Kyle Daniels will lead off here in the bottom of the first. Fort Morgan starting lineup is brought to you by Cargill Beef. It is committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and continuously improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at www.cargill.com. So Daniels takes ball 1. Start off the bottom of the first. Daniels, Shirtliff, and then Trey McBride. That pitch also up and high out of the strike zone. Ball 2. Daniels on the year is hitting at .368. Scored 10 runs. Had 7 hits. 6 RBIs. That pitch is in there on the corner. 2 balls and 1 strike to Kyle Daniels. Nice afternoon here. Ball is hit foul down the right field line. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Daniels. Trevor Shirtliff on deck. Trey McBride in the hole. Here in the bottom of the first inning, Fort Lupton held off the bases, and that pitch is fouled down and out of play down the left field line. Freddie and that ball is looped into left field. For Kyle Daniels, first hit of the game. So 1 up, 1 on, and that will bring up Shirtliff. Shirtliff on the year is averaging .381, 21 at bats, 10 runs, 8 hits, 5 RBIs. Lead for Daniels, and off the glove and to the backstop. So Daniels off to second base. On that wild pitch. Is up high and off the glove of the catcher. Next pitch is in there for a strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike with Daniels on second. Shirtliff at the plate. The wind and the pitch, and that is upstairs. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Shirtliff with 2 doubles and 1 triple this year, 5 RBIs. Next one is up high, but snagged by the catcher. So 3-1 on Shirtliff. We have time here as the ball got away. Daniels out at second base. Freddie Suarez pitching. Riley Reed behind the plate for Fort Lupton. Next pitch is grounded and hit to the second baseman. And Shirtliff will be out at first, but that does advance Daniels to third base. So 1 out, runner at third for Trey McBride. McBride gets into it, but it's fouled off to the right side. Ball 1. McBride this year hitting at .409. Scored 7 runs, 9 hits, 10 RBIs, has 2 doubles and 2 triples and 2 home runs. The wind and the pitch, and that is going to be up and out for a ball at 1-1 here. Next pitch is hit hard up through the left side, and that will bring Daniels home. So McBride with the RBI. Now we're going to have a courtesy runner for McBride. Courtesy run will be Austin Breidenbach. Nate Cage at the plate. Kenny Keller on deck. Adrian Marquez in the hole. Pitch over to first base. But getting back, standing up is Breidenbach. Nate Cage standing in there high and away. For ball one, Nate Cage this year batting at .391. Scored 6 runs, 9 hits, 7 RBIs. Pitch back over to first base, but Breidenbach slides in safely. So it's a beautiful afternoon here at Legion Field, about 62 degrees. If there's any wind, it's a very slight wind out of the southwest. And that pitch is over the head of the catcher and to the backstop. So Breidenbach will go to second base on the wild pitch. So runner in scoring position for Nate Cage. 1-0 Fort Morgan here in the bottom of the first. 1 out, 2 balls and no strikes. And that ball is going to be hit to left field, and they're going to hold up Breidenbach at third. So a nice hit there by Nate Cage. So first and second now with 1 out. Fort Morgan up 1-0. Kenny Keller at the plate. And that pitch is down and low and outside for ball 1. So Kenny Keller batting at .286. Suarez looks in, gets the sign. Keller was fooled on that one. Kind of a half-hearted swing there. 4 strike 1. Scored 3 runs, 6 hits, 4 RBIs for Keller. So first and second. That's a bender that catches the inside of the plate for strike 2. Keller looks down at the third base coach to get his sign, and strike 3 swinging. It must have called it a foul ball. So 1 ball and 2 strikes still on Keller. And that ball is hit to the second baseman, bobbled at first. We got it the runner at second, but safe at first is Keller. So now 2-0 Fort Morgan. Out at second. So Kenny Keller at first base, pitches, ends up hitting Adrian Marquez. So that will advance Kenny Keller to second, Adrian Marquez at first. So 2-0 here, Fort Morgan in the bottom of the first. Runners at first and second. Suarez with the pitch. That is in for the strike. 23 pitches so far in this first inning for Suarez. 10 balls, 13 strikes. Next pitch is going to be up and away. 4-1. So Garver batting at .357. Garver swings and misses at that one. One ball and 2 strikes with 2 out. 2-0 Fort Morgan here in the bottom of the first. That pitch is inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at first and second. Keller at second, Marquez at first. That pitch is down and away, 4-3. So we're sitting here at 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 out for Garver. The wind and the pitch, and that is down low and between the legs of the catcher. So everybody does advance, but only 1 base. So that will bring up Jacob Fritzler. Fritzler on the year is batting at .278. Scored 8 runs, 5 hits, 5 RBIs with 1 double so far this year. So bases loaded here in the bottom of the first. 2 out, 2-0 Fort Morgan. That ball is up and in for ball 1. Suarez gets his sign now. The pitch. That is down low and in for ball 2. So Andrew Adami at third. Dante Vasquez shortstop. Andreas Escuela second. Andy Segovia at first for the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. Next pitch is in there for a strike, so 2 balls and 1 strike, and that ball is going to be fisted off to the right and out of play for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 in for the Mustangs. Jacob Fritzler at the plate, Anthony Arroyo on deck, Kyle Daniels in the hole. And that is a hard hit pitch right back up the middle to center field, and they're going to send 2 home. And that will bring Kenny Keller and Adrian Marquez home on the single by Jacob Fritzler. Nice solid hit there by Fritzler. That ball gets by the catcher and back to the backstop on another wild pitch. For the strike, second pitch is in there for the strike, so sitting at 1 ball and 1 strike. Now 4-0 Fort Morgan. Runners coming home, and he is going to get home safe on a steal by Grayson Garver. That pitch was to the backstop. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Anthony Arroyo. Next pitch. That is a hard hit ball to left field. And then that will bring home Fritzler. And sliding in safely is Anthony Arroyo. So Fritzler does score. 1 ball and no strikes. It's now 3 balls and no strikes to Kyle Daniels as he's back for the second time already here in the bottom of the first. 6-0 Fort Morgan. That pitch catches the outside part of the plate for strike 1. So 3 balls and 1 strike, 6-0 Fort Morgan. Here in the bottom of the first. Swing and a miss by Daniels. Arroyo sits out at second base, gets a good-sized lead, and he's going to take off for third. And that pitch is going to get past the catcher to the backstop, but Daniels will be safe. At third. So that sends Daniels to first base. So Daniels at first, Anthony Arroyo at second. Daniels hard hit ball popped up on the left-hand side, but in foul territory and ends up dropping to the ground. So strike 1 on Trevor Shurtleff. Shurtleff is 0 for 1, grounded out in the first. Daniels gets the lead at first along with Arroyo at third, and that pitch is in there for the strike. Kyle Daniels with the stolen base. Gets him to second. Now second and third, and that is a called strike 3. So that brings the first inning to a close with the Mustangs scoring 6. Bottom of the first, 6 runs on 6 hits, 2 left on base. Fort Morgan going to the field here in the top of the second here on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickelback here at Legion Field in Game 1 of a doubleheader today. Mustangs lead at 6-0 after 1. Andrew Adami comes to the plate for Fort Lupton, batting .250 on the year. First pitch is in there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike here in the second inning, top of the second. Steps out for a minute for timeout. Now back into the box. Pitch is hit hard down the left field line, and that is going to be a hit to left field. For Adami, that's the first hit that the Mustang pitchers have given up. There were no hits in the last 2 games. Held Englewood hitless Wednesday and yesterday. First pitch is in there, or is up and in for ball 1. So Andrew Adami on at first. Andy Segovia at the plate. That pitch also up and high. Up and in. 2 balls and no strikes here. In the top of the second, Kyle Daniels with 19 pitches. That pitch must have been inside. So 3 balls and no strikes to Andy Segovia. The pitch is right down the middle on that heater for strike one. Northeastern, live in your world, learn in ours. For more information about Northeastern or classes available to you, go to www.njc.edu. Throw over to first, but the runner gets back safely. Andy Segovia stands in there, 3 balls and 1 strike. And that one must have been high. 4-4. So John Howard comes to the plate. For Fort Lupton. First pitch is inside, almost hit the batter. Four ball one. Daniels with a kick in, the pitch. Swing and a miss by Howard. This year Daniels is 2-1, ERA 1.75, 3 appearances. Pitch is out of the stretch, and the pitch is inside. So Kyle struggling here a little bit here in this second inning.
Go, Kyle. Make him earn it, bud.
Kyle Daniels looks into McBride for the signal. Now you're going to have the runner picked off at first. Nice move by Daniels. So next pitch is a ball. 3 balls and 1 strike, but that erased the runner at first. So 1 out here. A pitch is going to be hit to center field and deep to center field. That is going to be caught by Arroyo and throws it back in, but the runner advances to third. On the deep fly ball to Anthony Arroyo out in center. So that moves Adami to third base. So up to the plate now is Freddie Suarez, and he fouls it back. So 1 ball and 1 strike, now 2 strikes on Freddie Suarez. 6-0 here in the top of the second. Freddie Suarez, first baseman. That is a hard hit ball, and that is going to be a gapper out into left center field for the double. That brings the first run of the game home for Fort Lupton, now 6-1. As Freddie Suarez with the double and the RBI. Now up to bat is Riley Reed. Pitches outside and low, 4-1. So 31 total pitches here in the game for Daniels. 14 balls, 17 strikes. Next pitch is held up on, but ball 2 was low and inside. They're going to call a strike on that. They appealed to the umpire out at second, and he called it a strike. And now the coach for Fort Lupton is kind of questioning how the guy out at second could tell if he went around or not. Like, kind of agree with him. It's hard to tell from second base if the guy went around, if he broke the plate. That is another hard hit ball playable at first base. And that is going to be caught by Marquez for the third out. So after 1.5, Fort Morgan 6, Fort Lupton 1 here on B106 and B106.com. Back here at Legion Field, the Mustangs up 6-1 after Fort Lupton plates a run in the top of the second. In the top of the second, there was 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on base. Kyle Daniels threw 9 balls and 9 strikes. Has a total now of 33 pitches in the game. Up first for the Mustangs here in the bottom of the second is Trey McBride, Nate Cage on deck, Kenny Keller in the hole. Trey McBride had a single his first time up to left field. Freddie Suarez already has 46 total pitches, 22 balls and 24 strikes in that first inning as the Mustangs batted around. First pitch is up and in. McBride had to duck down so he wouldn't get hit. So ball 1, no strikes here on McBride. Wind in the pitch, and that ball is hit hard and misjudged by the left fielder and over his head, and it'll roll all the way to the fence. McBride into second base.
Nice hit, Trey.
Nice hard hit there. Now McBride will have the courtesy runner, and that will be Austin Breidenbach, as he also came in the first inning, and courtesy runner for McBride at that time also. Nate Cage now up to the plate. 1 for 1 of the single in the first, and that pitch is in there for a strike. Pitch is just inside. So 1 ball, 1 strike. That ball is going to be outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Nate Cage. 1 for 1, as I said, in the first, a single. Austin Breidenbach out at second base. That ball is up and inside once again. 3 balls and 1 strike to Cage. Suarez with the pitch, and that is going to be strike 2 on Cage. But Breidenbach with the steal gets in there safely. So he's now at third with 3 balls and 2 strikes on Cage. That ball is hit by the third baseman. Hard hit as he was playing in. So we'll give him a RBI on that. 7-1 now. Fort Morgan. As Cage is on first, Breidenbach comes in from third. Kenny Keller now up to the plate. He had a single also in the first to right field. Now that pitch is going to get by the catcher. And that will advance Cage to second base. on that wild pitch.
Let's go, 5.
So 1 ball and no strikes to Kenny Keller. Pitch squares to bunt, and it's going to be popped up and out of play. So 1 ball and 1 strike. On Kenny Keller. Buildings by Design has the experience to complete your project from start to finish. Get the quality you deserve in your building by starting your build project right. Start with Buildings by Design. So Suarez looks in for the sign. Once again, they squares to bunt. It's a good bunt out to the pitcher. And Kenny Keller is out at first on the bunt.
Go, Adrian.
So the first pitch, ball 1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Here on Adrian Marquez as he was hit by the pitch in the first inning. Next pitch is up and high. Next pitch is in there for the strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So we have a 3-2 count here on Adrian Marquez. Next pitch is up and away, and strike 3 called on the swing.
Come on, Grace.
So Nate Cage still sits at third base. Now we have Grayson Garver up to the plate. Drew a walk in the first inning. 7-1 Fort Morgan here in the bottom of the second. Hard hit ball to the third baseman, and he lets it get by him. And Nate Cage comes in for the score. Grayson Garver back into first safely. So Garver at first. Jacob Fritzler up to the plate. Single in the first for Fritzler. Garver once again slides back into first base safely. As we sit at 1 ball and no strikes. Now Garver takes off for second, and he will get the stolen base. So now Garver in scoring position for Fritzler. Suarez looks in for the signal. And the pitch is in there for a strike. So 2 balls and 1 strike on Fritzler. That pitch is outside and low. That one is hit right back up the middle for Fritzler, and that will bring Garver in as the ball gets by the center fielder, John Howard, and that will put Fritzler into second. And Garver comes home. So Anthony Arroyo now up, and that ball is outside, and that gets by the catcher also. So that will get Fritzler to third. So now Fritzler sits at third base after that wild pitch. So now 9-1, and the ball gets by once again, and that's going to bring Fritzler home on that wild pitch. So now 10-1, Fort Morgan. We'll give that a pass ball on the catcher. So Fort Morgan up now 10-1 with Anthony Arroyo at the plate. Had a double in the first time up to bat. So sits now at 3 balls and no strikes with 2 out in the bottom of the second. Fort Morgan up 10-1. Suarez looks in to get the sign from Riley Reed. And that is going to be up and in for the walk. That'll bring Kyle Daniels up to the plate. For the third time, has a single and a walk. Had a single in the first inning, then walked in the second appearance. Already up for the third time here in 2 innings. That curve goes low for ball 1. Now we're going to have a little discussion out at the pitcher's mound. Central Auto Parts, you need your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape, so make sure you take care of them by purchasing the best quality parts at great prices at your local Napa store. Central Auto Parts in Fort Morgan. Equitable Savings and Loan, proud to be Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan with locations in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush. They are available 24/7 to your banking needs. So Daniels at the plate with Arroyo at first. 74 pitches already for Freddie Suarez. 38 balls, 36 strikes. The runner steals, and that ball is going to be taken by the second baseman, but Anthony Arroyo with the steal. So now that second base in scoring position for Kyle Daniels, with the Mustangs leading 10-1. 2 balls and no strikes, and the pitch is up and away. For ball 3. So he's thrown 40 balls and 36 strikes. Next pitch is a curve, and that is also going to be up and away for ball 4. So now Daniels at first, Anthony Arroyo at second. Trevor Shirtliff up to the plate, grounded out in the first, struck out swinging in the second plate appearance, so he is 0 for 2. And the pitch is inside, but called a strike. Trevor Shirtliff with a hard hit ball to the third baseman. He bobbles it, but he does beat Anthony Arroyo to the base. So that is the third out of the bottom of the second inning, with the Mustangs up 10-1 here on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickelback here at Legion Field, with the Mustangs up 10-1. In the bottom of that second, Fort Morgan had 4 runs, 4 hits, 4 errors committed by Fort Lupton, 2 left on. So that brings up Presley Miller, Andres Escuela on deck, John Cook in the hole. First pitch is up and away from Daniels. 34 pitches so far for Daniels, 15 balls, 19 strikes. That curveball in there for the swinging strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike on Presley Miller. Another bender, and that is also in there for a strike. Nice curveball there by Kyle Daniels. And the pitch, another pitch, it looked like it was almost the same place as the other one, but they're going to call that one a ball. Trey McBride stood up, was ready to throw it to third for the around the horn, but now a fastball right down the middle. For the strikeout. So 1 out here in the top of the third. Mustangs up 10-1. Kyle Daniels, 38 pitches. That pitch is in there for a strike to Andres Escuela. Daniels, another bender, and that is going to be low and outside. Squirts away from McBride. But nobody on, so no harm done. So 1 ball and 1 strike, and there is a heater inside for ball 2 or strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes for Daniels, and that is a swinging strike, but they will get him at first. So 2 up and 2 down. And now as John Cook comes to the plate, his first plate appearance went down swinging. 42 pitches here for Daniels. Hard hit ball, and that is going to be a hit into left field. So hard hit there by Cook. So Cook now on for Fort Lupton. Three hits on the afternoon for Fort Lupton. 10 hits for the Mustangs. First pitch is swing and a miss by Dante Vasquez. Daniels looks into McBride for the signal. Short lead by Cook. Another swing and a miss. And throw down to first base on the pickoff, but over the head of Adrian Marquez. So Cook goes to second. On the air by McBride. So now 1 ball and 2 strikes on Dante Vasquez. 10-1 Fort Morgan. That slider is way outside for ball 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 out here in the top of the third. Nice curveball there for strike 3.
Nice pitch, Kyle.
On the strikeout. So No runs, one hit, one error, one left on. Here at the bottom of 3, the Fort Morgan Mustangs up 10-1 on B106 and B106.com. Here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, Trey McBride up to bat, Nate Cage on deck, Kenny Keller in the hole. McBride 2 for 2, a single and a double here this afternoon for the Mustangs. Suarez still in at pitcher, 79 total pitches for Suarez. That first pitch is down and in for ball 1. So Suarez still with more balls thrown than strikes. Next pitch is hit hard, and that is going to be stopped by the shortstop, but McBride will get the infield single as it was hit deep in the hole, but stopped by the shortstop. But McBride safely on at first. So now Austin Breidenbach now in as a courtesy runner once again for McBride. So he's now at first base. Nate Cage, 2 singles here in the first game. Pitch over to first, but Breidenbach in safely. Next pitch is way up and out for ball 1. Breidenbach gets a decent lead out there. Suarez to the plate, and Cage fouls it off to the left. So 1 ball and 1 strike here to Cage. Kenny Keller on deck, Adrian Marquez in the hole. Breidenbach with the lead. Pitch is going to be in there for a strike. So 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Nate Cage. Ball is hit out to left field and out, and Breidenbach has to hustle back to first. He had taken off on the steal. But had to hustle back. To first, so another steal attempt, and that is going to be in there, and that's going to be over the head of the shortstop and into center field, but not far enough for Breidenbach to advance on to third. So now Austin Breidenbach sits at second base with Kenny Keller up at the plate. That pitch is going to be up over the plate, but 4 ball 1.
Let's go, Kenny.
So Keller 2 for 2, a single and a bunt this afternoon. That ball is up and away for ball 2. Keller with the sign from Josh Langford at third base. Suarez looks back to second. Now the pitch, and that is going to be down and out for ball 3. 3-1 with 1 out. 10-1 Fort Morgan here in the bottom of the 3rd. Suarez now with 89 pitches, and that is a hard hit ball to the third baseman. Gets it for the first out, or the out at third, at first. And Breidenbach gets into third base safely as they try to throw back over to get him out. So a ground out to third base. So Breidenbach now stands in at third. As the umpire is Nate Wiggis. Now at the plate. That ball is hit hard over on the right side and gets the out at first. So at the bottom of three, Fort Morgan up 10-1 on B106 and B106.com. 10-1 here as we go into the top of four, I believe. Kyle Daniels. Looks like we have a new catcher. I believe that's Bobby Tolson. I can't tell if that's an 8 or a 9. Maybe Caleb Bell. But Andrew Adami up at the plate, and then Andy Segovia on deck and John Howard in the hole. See if we have any other switches for the Mustangs. That is a chop foul at the plate for strike one. Looks like everybody else is still in their normal positions. McBride is out, and I believe it's Caleb Bell at the catcher position. That is a hard hit ball to shortstop. Throw is going to be over the head of the first baseman in plenty of time, but an error. Looks like Garver now has gone over to short. So 10-1, and now the wild pitch, and that gets to the backstop. So that will send Adami now the wild pitch. Second pitch in there also for a ball, so 2 balls. Andrew Adami now out at second base on the wild pitch. Daniels with a look in, and that is going to be hit back up the middle, and that will be to the second baseman, but through the legs of the second baseman, and that will bring Adami in. Looks like we have a new player out at second base, and that is Joey Holback. Now a runner at first.
All right, boys, tighten it up. Let's go. There. Right on, Kyle. Good job. Oh, God, he's coming.
So the batter is at first base, safe on the error. But they do get the pickoff over at first on Segovia. So now 2 strikes on John Howard. 10-2 Fort Morgan. here in the top of the fourth. Yeah, John Howard is still in the game for Fort Lupton. Wind in the pitch, and that is fouled back over our heads. So 1 ball and 2 strikes on Howard. Nobody on. 1 in. Ball is tapped up the third base line to first base, and that is in time for the out. So 2 out. We do have a new third baseman, and that is Breidenbach now at third. Pitches in a little high on the bender for ball 1. 59 total pitches here for Kyle Daniels. 23 balls, 36 strikes. That heater is in on the swing and a miss by Freddie Suarez. On deck is Riley Reed. That pitch is down and away for ball 2. 2-1 with 2 outs. 10-2 Fort Morgan here in the fourth. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes on that slow curve from Daniels. Freddie Suarez is 1 for 1 with a double his first time up. Now a fastball is going to be in and low. For ball 3, so 3-2 on Freddie Suarez. Daniels looks in for the sign and the pitch, and that is another slow curve for strike 3. So after 3.5, the Mustangs up 10-2 on B106 and B106.com. Back here at Legion Field, the Mustangs up 10-2. And some players switch positions here. For Fort Lupton, have Grayson Garver up. He is 0 for 1 a walk and reached on an error. So Grayson Garver, Jacob Fritzler on deck, Anthony Arroyo in the hole. As we get some rest of our warm-up pitches, let me make sure that's who is number 18, Dante Vasquez, now at third. So Riley Reed still behind the plate. John Cook pitching, Andrew Adami at first, Andres Escuela at second, Freddie Suarez at shortstop, Dante Vasquez at third, Segovia in left, Howard in center, and Presley Miller still in right. So Cook now with the first pitch, and that is going to be up and in to Garver for ball 1. In the bottom of the fourth inning here, the Mustangs up 10-2. Hard hit ball, and that is going to be a ball down the third base line. And Garver is hustling it in, and he is going to be into second easily with the double, and that is going to be over the head of the second baseman and into right field, so he will end up at third on the overthrow. So he does end up at third base. So hard hit ball by Jacob Fritzler, and that is deep to center field off the bottom of the fence, and Fritzler will go into second on the double. hit hard and deep to center field. So that now makes it 11-2 Fort Morgan with Anthony Arroyo up to the plate. Arroyo is 1 for 1, a double and a walk. So John Cook getting treated very rudely here by the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Anthony Arroyo, Kyle Daniels on deck, Trevor Shirtliff in the hole. 11-2 Fort Morgan. If we can get another run in here, nice bunt, but it's going to end up going foul. So 1 ball and 1 strike. John Cook now with 5 pitches, 2 balls and 3 strikes. Looks down the third base coach to get his sign. Is Anthony Arroyo. John Cook looks in for the sign. Fritzler gets back a little closer to second. Now over the plate but high. 4-2. First National Bank in Fleming. Bank your financial needs with a Logan County home-owned bank since 1917. First National Bank in Fleming, member FDIC. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And they're calling that a strike. It looked in, but they're going to call it a strike. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Anthony Arroyo. The wind and the pitch. That is a little high for ball 3. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Fritzler out at second. 1 in so far for the Mustangs here in the bottom of the 4th. Steps off and fakes the throw back to second. Fritzler back in safely. Pitching from the stretch. The pitch is going to be down low for the walk. So Anthony Arroyo draws a walk. So now first and second with no out. Here in the bottom of the 4th, Kyle Daniels up a single and 2 walks. That's in from the left side. So John Cook with 5 balls, 4 strikes here in the 4th inning. They'll look in the pitch, and it's a bunt down the third base line, but it's going to end up rolling foul. Went about halfway down and then took a left into foul territory. So trying to sacrifice the runners over, but caught just enough of the chalk and ended up going foul. Cook looks in for the sign, looks back to second. Daniels backs away from the pitch, up and in for ball 2. For ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike, 11-2 Fort Morgan, bottom of the 4th. 2 on, and the pitch is a bunt. Nice bunt. The pitcher is going to not get hold of it, and so now we have the bases loaded.
Let's go, Joe.
So now first, second, and third.
Go, Joe.
Now pitches in, but high to see who is in there. That is Joe Holbeck. Hard hit ball to the third baseman, and they're going to get the double play. As Holbeck is thrown out at first, so So the force out at home. So strike one now. And that is Caleb Bell. So pass ball, and that will bring Anthony Arroyo home for the 12th run of the game. So we have Caleb Bell. In now, and Anthony Arroyo did come home on the wild pitch. So Kyle Daniels now sitting at third, so 12-2, time taken by Bell. So Bell on the year is hitting at .400. It's at 3-1. Next pitch is up and away for ball four. So now Austin Breidenbach in now for his first plate appearance. Breidenbach and then Keller, and then see if Jason Wiggis comes back out to bat. So 12-2. Tried to throw the curveball, but it stayed way high for ball one. If they can get this, give them a little bit more insurance run here. They do have a 10-run lead right now at 12-2. That pitch is outside for ball two. 2 balls and no strikes to Austin Breidenbach. Breidenbach batting at .375. Scored 7 times, 3 hits, 1 RBI. That pitch is in there for a strike. So runners at first and second. Bell at first, Daniels at third. 2 balls and a strike as John Cook with the delivery. Another bender, but it stays high and outside. 4-3. So 2 out, and that pitch is low for the walk. So now we have the bases loaded for Kenny Keller. So 2 outs, Keller with a 2 for 3. Single in the first, and then a bunt down the third baseline in the third inning. Also with a ground out. Bender is, must be a little high for ball one. So 12-2 here in the bottom of the fourth. 1 ball and no strikes with the bases loaded for Kenny Keller. And that one is going to be in there for the strike, in the high part of the strike zone. So Daniels at third, Bell at second, Breidenbach at first. Kenny Keller waiting for the pitch, and that pitch is going to be, must be high for ball two. Kenny Keller with 4 RBIs on the year. And he is hit by the pitch. So that will bring in Kyle Daniels. So now 13-2. Fort Morgan is we now have looks like Adrian Marquez at the plate. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike to Marquez. So 13-2. Fort Morgan. Bell at third. Breidenbach at second, and Keller at first. Looks in, delivery and the pitch, and that is in there for the strike. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases loaded for Adrian Marquez. That pitch is low and inside for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. B&J Plumbing can handle all your plumbing needs from clogged drains to a major construction project. Just give them a call at 522-3828. That pitch is going to be popped up to the second baseman, and we'll see if he runs it down. And he does not. It gets off of his glove, so that will plate Bell and Breidenbach and Bell. That was an error on the second baseman. So that ball is hit sky high to left field. And that ball is over the head of off of the glove of the left fielders for Garber. So back-to-back errors here. So Kenny Keller out at second. So now we're up 17-2. That ball is hit in the gap to left field, and that will score Garber. So Grayson Garber now Anthony Arroyo up to the plate, 18-2. So 18-2 here for the Mustangs with 2 outs. The runner on first. Jacob Pritzler on first. Swing and a miss by Arroyo. So a walk now to Anthony Arroyo. So now Fritzler out at second base. 18-2, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kyle Daniels. So Arroyo draws the walk. One ball and 2 strikes to Kyle Daniels, 18-2, Fort Morgan. Pitches popped back and over the backstop here for Daniels. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. To Kyle Daniels, Anthony Arroyo at first, Jacob Pritzler out at second. And that hits Daniels. So now the bases loaded once again for Fort Morgan now as Joe Holbeck comes up. He grounded out his first time up to third base. So 18-2 here in the bottom of 4, 2 outs. Joey Holbeck at the plate, Caleb Bell on deck. Looks in and the delivery, and that is a hard hit ball out to left field, but it's going to be over the head of the left fielder, and that will roll to the fence, and that will clear the bases on the double. So Fort Morgan exploding here. For the Mustangs. So now Holbeck out at second. Now 21-2 for the Mustangs. That hits Caleb Bell in the helmet. That seems to be okay. So he will go to first on the hit batsman. They're checking on to make sure he's okay, and they say he's fine. So now Austin Breidenbach up to the plate. He is officially not, he drew a walk his first time up. So 11 runs here in the bottom of the 4th for the Mustangs. 6 in the first, 4 in the second, none in the third, and 11 here in the 4th. That slow bender was up and away for ball 1. Cook now looks in. Going to be high and wide to Breidenbach for ball 2. Atwood Steakhouse, home of the $8.95 dinner menu during the week and the best prime rib and other great specials on Friday and Saturdays. And that is a hard hit ball over the third baseman out into left field, and Holbeck will hold up at third on the single. So now bases loaded once again. Holbeck at third, Bell out at second, Breidenbach at first. As Kenny Keller fouls it back over the screen for strike 1.
Yeah, back leg strong, bud. Come on, Fire.
So no balls and 1 strike to Kenny Keller. 2 for 3, a single, a bunt, a ground out, and hit by pitch. Fouled back to the screen for strike 2.
Right on.
Comes back out far enough to the playing field. The pitcher, John Cook, goes out and picks it up. So Kenny Keller awaits the pitch, and it comes in. Another pop fly, shallow center field. And it will be taken in for the third out. So at the end of 4, Fort Morgan 21, Fort Lupton 2 here on B106 and B106.com. Bottom of the, or top of the fifth here, excuse me. Looks like Adrian Marquez is now pitching it. Daniels has gone to first. Lead Caleb Bell is still behind the plate. Brings up Riley Reed. And let's see, they got a pinch hitter in here. Number 28, or 28, that's him, Riley Reed. 0 for 1 on a fly out. (21-2), Fort Morgan. And that pitch is fouled back to the screen. So Adrian Marquez taken over here in the top of the fifth. Next pitch is inside for ball 1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Riley Reed. The Mustangs up 21-2 here, top of the fifth. Pitch is swing and a miss by Reed on a low fastball, but dug out by Bell. Looks in, delivers, and that is fouled off out of play down the right side. Farmers Insurance Agency, Brenda Robinette, your farmer's agent, will work to provide unique, customized coverage at an affordable price. 522-1341. And the delivery is hit to the third baseman, but under the glove of Breidenbach. So Breidenbach with the error. Puts the man on first. So we'll see who's up here. Number 17 is in for Presley Miller. And let's see if I have a number 17. I do not have a number 17. It is fouled back. We'll say it's Modesto Martinez. 1 strike. Hard hit ball to the third baseman. They're going to go to second for 1. Try to get the double play, but over the head and wouldn't have been in time anyway. So they're saying out at first. I don't know if there was. So that gives us 2 outs here. On the ground out. Call it a double play. That pitch is inside to Andres Escuela. So 1 ball and no strikes. That is a foul ball chopped back to the screen. So Adrian Marquez looks in for the sign from Bell. Sets up outside, and that is a swing and a miss. And they're going to throw him out at third base. So that will bring this game to a close now as the Mustangs have won it 21-2 We will now take a 2-minute break and be back with the post-game show here on B106 and B106.com. Fort Morgan wins at 21-2. This Fort Morgan Mustangs post-game show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at www.morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC here to help you imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goals. So the Mustangs win it big here, 21-2. Score 6 runs in the first, 4 in the second, shutout in the third, but do score 11 in the fourth. So the line for the Fort Lupton is 2 runs, 3 hits, 9 errors, 2 left on base. Fort Morgan 21 runs, 17 hits, 4 errors, and 8 left on base. Game time was 1 hour and 42 minutes. So that makes the Mustangs now, I believe, 43-0 in conference play overall. They came in 5-2 overall, now 6-2. They're 5-0 now in league play. We will have a little break here, and we will have game number 2. That game, Mustangs will be the visiting team. Fort Lupton will be the home team. So I'm not sure just how long of break we will have, but we will give you the Mustang player of the game, and that is brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Home Center, with 3 locations to serve you better: Sterling, Brush, and Fort Morgan. Your headquarters for all your home, farm, and ranch supplies, from plumbing to feed. And I believe we will go today as our player of the game will be Jacob Pritzler. He was 3 or 4 at the plate, scored 3 runs, had 3 hits, 2 doubles, or 1 double, 2 singles, and had 4 RBIs. So Jacob Pritzler will be our player of the game here in game 1. So we will take a little break and then be back with game 2 here on B106 and B106.com.